Welcome back to 5-Day Crypto. My name is Chase, level 1 CMT and full-time trader. Today we're going to look at Chainlink. Surprise, surprise. Let's get right to it. We'll start off on the short time frame, the 4-hour chart. We'll look at some interesting patterns, and then we'll zoom out to the daily, the more macro scale, see what we need to focus on the long-term high and low targets. You always want to be looking at bullish and bearish scenarios so you're prepared for anything. So let's get right to it. The 4-hour chart, what do we have going here? Well, we have some flat tops up here, right? Triple rejection points and triple support at higher. So what do we got here? A 4-hour rising wedge, oftentimes bullish, but we have some issues, right? What do we want to see here? So even if we break out, you're like, great, we're going to break out and go higher. Well, pump the brakes, right? This would be great if this was our high, but it's not, is it? Right? We have over here, right? So even if we break out, we have more of a test ahead of us. We really need to, even if we go higher, we got to go much higher. 1650 is what we're looking at. Then we can make a run. But until then, even if this turns out bullish, which even the best patterns only have about a 70% conviction rate. So keep that in mind. Even if you see a textbook pattern, there's still a 30% chance at the least case that it's going to fail. Okay. So even if we break out of this confirms you have more resistance up here. So 1650 for Chainlink is where we can pick up steam. But then again, right, what are we looking at above that? It's like $18 to $20. So Chainlink's got a lot of work to do. Even though we're bullish and we're back to the, bigger double-digit targets, we've got some roadblocks ahead of us that we need to overtake. So to the downside, what are we watching if this fails, right? Say we come up here again, even bullish, right? We go to 14 or 15.25, another dollar up and bounce. What if we reject here? And what if we come back down and break? Well, let's prepare for the lows, right? Step 1, watch that low. Step 2, watch that low. If that one breaks, you got that one. If this one breaks, watch that one. If this one breaks, it's Geronimo. How far below? Well, we have to zoom out and to get to that. But these are the steps down the stairs that you want to take and the steps up the stairs. So target 1 to the high side, 15.25. Step 2, 16.50 area. To the downside, it's like kind of the $14, right? You see that? That's the low. Below that, this one's a little bit stronger because you have Mr. 200 EMA right here, right? This is the pink. So you kind of got double support here. If this one breaks, yeah, you're probably going to fall pretty quickly to 13. And if that one breaks, that'd be more likely because you'd have your prices under the 200 EMA. That's kind of your bigger moving average. So you'd want to be watching out for that. And then how far down below would we go? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go down and zoom out to the daily. Still looking good, like there's a little consolidation, but you could see that sort of near perfect ascending triangle is looking more like a, textbook, soggy sandwich here, right? This is no longer textbook anything, right? So not looking as good there, but we have a couple of warning signs here as well, right? We've tested this 21 EMA on the daily chart, right? You don't want to close below the 21. Otherwise, you start to kind of lose your stronghold, right? You could think of it as like a crack in the ice. You could still survive, but it's like, let's tread cautiously here, right? And especially with all of these wicks. Look at all these upper shadows. So as soon as we pump, we like come back down, even in the same daily candle. See all those upper shadows, right? You don't generally want to see that if you want to be breaking higher, right? It's showing that as prices move up, right, sellers are taking profits and moving that right back down. So you also want to note these Bollinger Bands, right? See the low one there and the high one here. We're compressing, which means lower volatility and likely leading to higher volatility in the not so distant future. So you can see as I zoom out here, right, a bigger move is likely coming. Which way? We don't know yet because we're right in the middle of the damn channel. So be watching this 21-day EMA right there in the yellow and highlighted in the yellow. So it's right around $14 area, right? So if we lose 14 and close below it on the daily, now we could still move down and end up being a wick. But close, right, put it on closing prices. If you see a close, another one below this 21, that's going to shift the odds to a more of a downward, immediate trend. That's just the odds, right? There's no guarantees in crypto or anything in life, right? That's just, you want to play your odds. That's the only reason you're following TA to begin with, right? You're just trying to improve your odds of seeing a direction, okay? So to the upside, right, we're looking to close above 15, right? You haven't seen any of these closes above 15, and we could kind of paint that zone, right? A little bit of a thin zone there, but close above 15 and you start to shift your odds towards the bulls. But again, remember, this is 1650 before we get, really pick up steam, but you see this upper Bollinger Band here. So we've got a little bit of an issue here to the upside, but it could bounce and go big. If it does, right, we got to zoom out more to see where our next stop point to the high side is. Okay, so watch for that. But this is going to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wants to chill and go down a little bit, right, all altcoins, Chainlink included, going to get dragged down a little bit with it. So how far down? What if we close below this? What if we lose this low? Again, I'm glad you asked, right? We've looked at this in previous videos, put it on closing prices here, and it's our previous consolidation zone is the likely spot where we try to find some footing. So that is just shy of 12, right? 1170, 1160 to just north of 10, right? You see this zone here, right? And if you put it back on regular candles, you could see a lot of consolidation in here. So your next kind of liquidity area is going to be down in this area. You have your 100-day EMA right here, your 50s here, but that's just kind of my odds on favorite for the next zone, or like kind of a soft landing spot, right? If Chainlink loses the 21 with a couple of daily closes, I'm looking for here to kind of start to reaccumulate. Okay, so that is that. So let's zoom out again on the 3-day. Nothing crazy here, right? This time, this consolidation kind of ran right into the 8-day EMA, right? The 8 EMA. We're on the 3-day chart. So bounce and then come back down. Hold. We've held the line so far. So until you see a close below the 8 EMA, you're still leaning slightly bullish, right? You're above all moving averages. You're, holding that top Bollinger Band. By definition, you got to be bullish here, right? There's no signs of any kind of bears here. This is good, right? But if we close below that, right, that would be the first time in a while, right? Last close below it, you could argue there, but really it's like back in September, right? We're looking like 2-3 months solid uptrend, right? Bullish until we close below that EMA 8, leaning to the upside, okay, on the 3-day, right? How about the weekly? Right, we'll zoom out to the bigger picture here, and then we can kind of get our target, right? Here's our upwards target. Why up here? Well, just look back, right? This is our previous zone, right? Until Chainlink can kind of close above there, right? We could be looking at resistance. Even if we kind of did something along the lines of this, where we kind of form this kind of bull flag and bounce, right, over the next couple of weeks or months, right, somewhere in this target could still be resistance. Or we might, have to churn around here for a little bit. So pump the brakes until you see Chainlink prices above 19 area. Once we get above 19, I think it's like, full go zone again, right? We could make a pretty quick move to 30, right? If we can break through the $19 area, right? So keep that in mind for the big picture. I'm looking for like a retest of this EMA 8 here, and then maybe the next couple of weeks, and then we'll see how it interacts. Is it going to hold? If it crashes below, I'm looking at the 21 EMA. Watch for that trajectory over the weeks, right? We're probably looking at maybe, $11, $12 area, depending on when it happens. Otherwise, we could absolutely bounce off the EMA 8. Certainly, if Bitcoin's going to come down just a little bit and chill, maybe Bitcoin goes to like 36, 35, right? Chainlink comes back and tests 13, holds, and then, alts tend to bounce if Bitcoin holds relatively bullish, right? So watch for those two areas in the macro scale, right? The weekly chart looks like it's a little tired on Chainlink because look at this Bollinger Band, right? How it curves in there. That likely means consolidation, right? So that's kind of what we're getting, watching for that, right? If it starts to now pull back the other way, right? If we start to see prices go up to a 15, 16 area and you see this band kind of peel this way, watch out. We could see some, pretty explosive moves. So watching to the high side, to the low side, those are your targets. Everything in between, hopefully you learn something. If not, just wait a minute and we might at least crack a laugh at the poor dad humor, right? So let's get to quote of the day. Do what you can with what you have, where you are, right? Don't just read into it. Take a second, pause this ridiculous video and think on that, right? Good quote. Car of the day, Lamborghini. What, Chase? I thought you said Lamborghini. What the hell is that truck? Surprise. It's a Lamborghini, right? You can see the logo vaguely right there. but they didn't make many of these. And to be in this kind of condition is even more rare. I saw this at a car show. You see the red carpet. This was actually up for auction. I'm not sure. I'm not aware if it went or sold, but several $100,000 for sure. Looking pretty fantastic, if you ask me. I think Hummer may have got their idea here, right? The original OG. When did they make this? Is like late 70s, I do believe. Maybe early 80s. Someone can do a quick Google search and find out if you're that interested. But Lamborghini truck. Damn. Look at the back. This thing is pretty striking in person. As big, every bit as big as a Hummer. The H1 I'm talking about, not this paltry BS H3 bullshit, right? H1, that's the true Hummer. Yeah, H2 is all right, but I mean, look at those tires from back in like the 80s. Are you kidding me? Everything original. Look at this grill guard. You could just run through anything. Back in the 80s, I mean, here's your lead sled right here. Right, watch out. Make this shit bulletproof. That would be pretty sick, huh? Like a V12 bulletproof Lambo truck. It's pretty awesome to even say. And bonus, Ferrari Maranello. It was just on the side there. The Lambo truck's right to the right. Look at this thing. Rolls Royce convertible. I mean, there's all kinds of money at this. This is the same show I've been showing all week in these videos. But just, you could look left. I mean, these are just on the side of a parking garage. You're just seeing like just a random, original white-walled Rolls Royce, Ferrari Maranello casually hanging out, just going to auction. And, red carpet. I mean, look at just these backdrops of these cars, just random cars everywhere. Just some of the rarest things you'll see. Amelia Island Cars and Coffee, Concourse d'Elegance, all that good stuff. That's where this was. Epic. I try to go every year, but this was probably the best year. I think it was 2015. They had probably the most amazing collection during that year. It was just like everywhere you went, you're just like the rarest cars you've ever seen, the coolest cars, hypercars, supercars, old cars, classic cars. I mean, I think they did hundreds of millions of dollars in auctioned cars during that year, and you can see why. Right, this whole I'm on the roof of the garage. This went all the way down like 2 more stories. I saw a one of 2 in the U.S. Mercedes CLK GTRs. If you know what that is, I mean, your mind's already blown. Saw that in person. The guy put the lift up. Maybe we'll do that car of the day next. I think I got a video of it. It has its own built-in air suspension lift, so you can lift it off the ground, change the wheels and tires, and then put it back down. Amazing. He did a whole transportation segment for me. It was pretty amazing. And yeah, we'll talk more on that later. We'll end the rambles here. What do you think? I don't know what to think. The Cybertruck events today, right? The little, if you're remotely interested, it's you can look it up on YouTube. Cybertruck delivery event. The first Cybertrucks are actually getting delivered today, and I think all the specs are going to be released today as far as price, scalability. I think they're only releasing like less than 100 this year, which is, you only got a month, and then next year I think they're predicting 100,000. I should get mine next year, right? I think I was one of the first, if you can look up your reservations, of one of the first 5,000 reservation holders, so I should be getting mine as soon as possible. I reserved mine like within the first hour of release 4 years ago or something like that. So that should be, so exciting at some point. What else do we got? More cars to come on my phone reel, as odd as that is. All right, I'll end it there. Chainlink video for Thursday. My son's birthday's tomorrow. I'm going to try to do a video. If I can't, then I'm having too much fun with him. So I'll see you later on the next one. Appreciate you watching this long. If you have 47 gold stars and a Ducati.